All right, guys, good morning. Now, before we take that comprehension test, we're actually going to do our review of your writing test right now. So we are going to do your writing test first. Then you guys will use the rest of your day today for ELA time to do your comprehension test, your grammar test, and then your grammar quiz in Kahoot. And then as long as you get your selfie writing done by the end of the week, you're good. And then we did do that recording yesterday at noon. And a lot of you guys didn't show up. So if you did not come at 12, I do have that recording there for you guys. Okay. So let's go ahead and walk through how to get to your informational writing test. All right. So your writing test is going to be in Google Classroom. So what you're going to need to do is go to Google Classroom, and then it'll be the first one you see. And then you're just going to click open with Cami. It says Unit 2, Week 6, Informational Writing Test. And you're just going to click open with Cami. If you open up the other one, there should be this purple box right here that says open with Cami. That's what you're going to click. You're going to click open with Cami. So everybody should be there right now. So scroll all the way to the top, Alexander, and it's going to be at the top. If you don't see it for some reason, you might need to update. And then we're not going to be on Jungle Hunter today. So we're going to exit out of Jungle Hunter. We're going to be in our comprehension. And then make sure you guys are off YouTube. Nathan, get off YouTube. Okay, you're going to click open with Cami. And then once you guys open it with Cami, you should see this page right here, okay? All right, guys, so this is going to be your informational performance task, which is also your informational writing test. You guys are going to be writing an informational writing on Wednesday and Thursday, okay? Your class has been learning about how animals play a part in the world around us. Your teacher has asked you to write an informational article for a class book on animals. Before you decide what you will write about, you will read 2 passages or sources that provide information about zebras and giraffes. After you have looked at these passages or sources, you will answer some questions about them. Look at the passages and the 3 questions that follow, then go back and read the passages carefully. Then they will give you the information you will need to answer the questions and write an informational article. In part 2, you will write an informational article using information from the 2 passages. You will now look at 2 passages or sources. You can look at either of the passages as often as you'd like. After looking at the passages, use the rest of the time in part 1 to answer 3 questions about them. Your answers to these questions will be scored. They will actually not be scored, so you guys can cross that out. So you can use your drawing tool. I would do like a thickness of 2, and then I would make it super dark, and I would use like a black color, and I'm going to cross that out. Your answers to these questions will not be scored, so let's cross that out. So go ahead and do that on your own, guys. So you're going to cross out this sentence. Your answers to these questions will be scored. They're not going to be scored, so you can cross that out. Click and drag your pen so that you cross that one out. Good job. And then if you want, you can use like a black instead of yellow because we're not highlighting it. It's not important. I don't want you guys to think it will be scored. So you can use this black color right here. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Also, your answers will help you think about the information you have read, which should help you write your informational article. You may look at the passages or sources when you think they would be helpful. You may also look at your notes. So let's go ahead and keep reading now. Now we're going to read the 2 sources, okay, guys? This time I'm going to have you guys let's look at the 3 questions. And then we'll do the reading, okay? So I'm scrolling down to page 70. Pick 2 choices that show ideas about animals found in both a horse of a different color and giraffes. A horse of a different color and giraffes give information about zebras and giraffes. Write a paragraph that tells in your own words at least 2 facts you have learned about baby zebras and baby giraffes. Use at least 1 detail from each source in your answer. Be sure to give the title of the source for each detail. And then how do zebras and giraffes' bodies help keep these animals safe? In your answer, use at least 1 detail from each source, a horse of a different color and giraffes. Be sure to give the title of the source for each detail. And then the last one is we're just talking about how they're alike and different. All right. So source number 1, a horse of a different color. I'm going to be using my highlighting tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my thickness as like an 8. So I'm going to use my thickness as an 8. I'm going to click on transparency and I'm going to drag this blue circle to like almost down. And then I'm going to click on my yellow. And then I'm going to, just so that I can practice to make sure it's working, I'm going to highlight the title. Source number 1, a horse of a different color. So can you guys do that for me right now? Everybody should be doing that now. So click on the number. And then let's make it an 8. I wonder if 8's too big. Oh, I think it's fine. I'm going to click undo. Oh, let's go back to it's the K. Click on the K tab. Click on the tab with the K. At the top, you have a tab open with a K. There you go. Now scroll up a little more. Because we're at the top of this page. So scroll up a little more. Okay, now you're going to change this transparency to 8. Or sorry, the size. Change that to 8 and then the transparency, make it light, okay? All right. Yep, and then click the transparency and then drag it down. So we're gonna have to try again and then just drag it. Yeah, there you go. But your transparency is too dark. Do you see how it's covering the letters? So let's undo that. You can undo it by clicking Command Z or Control Z. And then you need to click on this circle here and then drag it. You need to drag the circle for your transparency so that it's super light. Now, if you can't get the transparency to scroll down, then what you need to do is you can just underline. So keep your size of your pen like really small. All right, guys, I'm going to keep going, okay? All right. Did you know that in the past, zebras were called horse tigers? People thought a zebra was a mix of a horse and a tiger. Zebras are interesting animals. Stripes. Zebras look a lot like horses. They have white coats with black stripes. Every zebra has different stripes. We don't know for sure why they have stripes. These stripes might help keep them safe. Zebras live in Africa. They live in family groups. Each family has 1 grown-up male and a few grown-up females. There are many young zebras in a family. Families join together to make a herd. A herd has hundreds of members. Ooh, so I'm going to highlight that zebras live in Africa. Zebras live in Africa. And then they live in families, and families can join together to make herds. So zebras live in families and herds. So a group of zebras would be called a herd, whereas like a group of birds would be a flock. Go ahead and highlight those 2 things. Good job. So you're going to highlight zebras live in Africa. Right here, zebras live in Africa. And then families join together to make a herd. Highlight that, please. Zebras live in Africa. It's right up here at the top. Zebras live in Africa. And then families join together. Families join together to make a herd. Zebras live in Africa. Families join together to make a herd. All right. Baby zebras. Ooh, remember we have to learn about baby zebras. So let's go ahead and highlight. Baby zebras are called fowls. Foals, fowls. They have white bodies with brown stripes. Okay, so white bodies with brown stripes. Their stripes turn black as they get older. Their fur is soft and fuzzy. Babies can walk 20 minutes after birth. Ooh, that's an important fact. So they can walk 20 minutes after birth. When us as babies, we don't walk for like a very long time, like almost a year after birth. They run when they are an hour old. Wow, that's really fast. So run, hour old. Mothers keep their babies away from other zebras until the babies are a few days old. Each baby knows its mother by her stripes. So if you think that there's any other information that you want to highlight, you can. I'm just going to highlight what baby zebras are called, that their bodies have brown stripes. They can walk 20 minutes after birth. They can run when they're an hour old. So go ahead and highlight those facts under babies. Highlight those facts at babies. Okay. And then it is 9:21, and I want to give you guys enough time to do your math. I'm sorry, your comprehension test. So I might not give you guys all the time right now, but you can watch this on YouTube because I'm recording it, and you can pause. So while you're watching it on YouTube, you can pause when you need more time and then highlight what you need to. So I strongly encourage you guys to watch this on YouTube since I'm going to continue on, okay? Dangers. Life can be dangerous for zebras. Lions and wild dogs are their enemies. Okay, so they have lions and wild dogs are their enemies. Zebras have ways to stay safe. Their stripes help them. Ooh, remember we were trying to figure out what helps them? So stripes make them look blurry when they run. They can run fast. Their enemies might not see them. Okay, so they can also run fast. And then if you're blurry, then it's hard to see them. So may not see them. They fight their enemies by kicking. Okay, so they also kick, and then they also protect each other. So the family protects each other. So I did do a lot of highlighting for this one. I highlighted lions and wild dogs are their enemies. Stripes make them look blurry when they run. They run fast. So then enemies might not see them. They kick, and then the family protects each other. I'm going to move on. So you're not going to see all that I just highlighted right now. So make sure you guys pause the video and get what you missed on YouTube. Source number 2. Now we're going to be reading about giraffes. People once thought a giraffe was part camel and part leopard. Giraffes were called camel leopards. Their real name is Camelopardalis. This means fast-walking camel leopard. Tall animals. Why do animals look up to giraffes? They are the tallest animals in the world. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. Tallest animals in the world. They can look into a second floor window. A giraffe's legs are taller than most people. Giraffes have white or tan coats with spots. Okay, so they have white or tan coats with spots. Each giraffe's coats look different. Herds. Giraffes live in Africa. Ooh, I think our zebras live in Africa too, so that's a similarity. Most live in small groups called herds. Ooh, so they also live in herds. Some herds have grown-up females and young giraffes. Other herds have grown-up males. Some grown-up males live alone. Babies. Ooh, this is important because this was a question. Baby giraffes are called calves. So highlight that. The calves are taller when born than most grown-up people. In less than an hour after birth, the calves can walk. Ooh, okay. So less than an hour, they can walk. They can run when only 10 hours old. So they can run at 10 hours. Calves are never left alone. They're watched over by grown-up females. Staying safe. Lions and crocodiles are giraffes' enemies. Ooh, okay, so these are their enemies. Lions and crocodiles are giraffes' enemies. Giraffes' bodies help keep them safe. Ah, that was another question. They have spotted coats. Their coats help them blend in with the trees. Ah, so their coats help them blend in so that they're hard to see. That's called camouflage. Their enemies may not see them. Being tall also helps. They can see enemies that are far away. Okay, so because they're tall, they can see enemies far away. And they can also run fast, just like the zebras. Their enemies can't catch them. Giraffes protect themselves. They fight their enemies with strong kicks. Ah, that's another similarity. They both kick. So I did do a lot of highlighting, and I did go through that kind of quickly. So if you need more time, make sure you rewatch this video on YouTube. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick our correct answer choices for questions 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to talk about your writing portion of your test, and then we'll move on, and then we'll continue this tomorrow, okay? Pick 2 choices that show ideas about animals found in both a horse of a different color and giraffes. So what are some ideas about animals found in both? So it has to be in both stories. It can't just be in the one, a horse of a different color. It can't just be in giraffes. It has to be both. Animals' coats help animals hide from their enemies. Okay, we have to pick 2. So put them in the chat. B, animals make noises to scare away other animals. C, animal babies can walk soon after they are born. D, animal babies live with their mother and father. E, animals all look the same. Well, I know that it's not that animals all look the same. Giraffes and zebras are very different animals. I wonder if it's animal babies live with their mother and father. I'm going to check. Okay, baby giraffes are called calves. They're never left alone. They are watched over by grown-up females. So if they're just watched over by grown-up females, that's not necessarily their parents. So they're not being watched over by their father. So it's not D. Very good. I see a lot of A and C. It is not B. Animals make noises to scare away other animals. I did not read that in both of the stories. It does not talk about making noises. So it's not B. So the best answer would be A, animal coats help animals hide from their enemies. And C, animal babies can walk soon after they are born. How do we know that? In the one about horse of a different color, it talks about how zebras have their stripes, and when they run, they become blurry. So then it's hard to see them. And then also giraffes have those spots that help them hide between the trees. Okay, so it's A. And then animal babies can walk soon after they're born. They can, remember, a giraffe can walk less than an hour after they're born. And then a zebra can walk 20 minutes after they're born. So they can walk soon after. Okay, question number 2. A horse of a different color and giraffes give information about zebras and giraffes. Write a paragraph that tells you in your own words at least 2 facts you have learned about baby zebras and baby giraffes. Use at least 1 detail from each source in your answer. Be sure to give the title of the source for each detail. All right, now this is going to be a little bit extra work. So let's go ahead and start it, okay? We need to write the source title, okay? So we need to write 2 facts, one about baby zebras, one about baby giraffes, okay? So I'm gonna click on the text box. Go ahead and click on the text box. And then it's a paragraph, so you will need to indent. So I'm gonna start it right here. And then I'm gonna actually make this smaller since it's a paragraph, so I need lots of space. I'm gonna make it size 24, okay? And then you notice that this title is in quotation marks. You need to put your title in quotation marks too. In a horse of a different color, I learned, what do we learn about baby zebras? So let's go back and look. That baby zebras are called fowls. Baby zebras. And then remember, because it doesn't skip the line for you, you have to do it yourself, okay? I learned that baby zebras are called fowls. And I want to spell it correctly, so I'm going to go back up and read it. Okay. And then, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do 2 facts because it's asking us to write a paragraph. And if I just talk about 1 fact for each, then it's not going to give me 4 to 6 sentences. So in A Horse of a Different Color, I learned that baby zebras are called fowls. And then let's do 1 more fact about baby zebras. They have white bodies with brown stripes. Fowls have white bodies with brown, then start the new line, stripes, period. Now I'm going to do my 2 facts for the giraffes because that's 2 sentences. I'm going to write 2 more to make 4 sentences, which will make my paragraph. In giraffes, I learned that baby giraffes are called, and what are they called again? Calves. Are called calves, period. And then I need 1 more fact. They can walk less than an hour after birth. Calves can walk less than an hour after birth. Done. So that's what you guys are going to be doing. So I am going to write that here in the chat for you guys. In A Horse of a Different Color, and then it's a title, so you need to make sure that you capitalize important words. Important words are A, because that's at the beginning of the title, horse, different, and color. Those are all important words. A Horse of a Different Color, I learned that baby zebras are called fowls. Write this down, guys. Fowls have white bodies with brown stripes. Even if you don't finish it right now, the more that you get done right now, the less you'll have to do later. So I recommend you doing as much as you can right now. I learned that baby giraffes are called calves. Calves can walk less than an hour after birth. And I did 4 sentences, and our minimum is 4 sentences to write a paragraph. All right, guys, it is in the chat, and also you can pause the video on YouTube. Let's move on to the final question. How do zebras and giraffes' bodies help keep these animals safe? In your answer, use at least 1 detail from each source. A Horse of a Different Color and giraffes. Be sure to give the title of the source for each detail. Now, this one does not say a paragraph. This one says write a paragraph. This one doesn't. So I'm just going to write 2 sentences. I'm just going to write 2 sentences, okay? So because I'm writing 2 sentences and not a paragraph, I'm not going to indent, okay? So in A Horse, because it tells us to write the title of a different color, in A Horse of a Different Color, zebras have, I learned that when zebras run, their stripes make them look blurry, so it's hard to see them, period. Now I'm going to do for in giraffes. In giraffes, I learned that their spots blend in with and then what did it say? I'm going to remember. I have to go back and look. Blend in with the trees. I learned that their spots blend in with the trees, making them hard to see. I'm going to put a comma right here. In giraffes, I learned that their spots blend in with the trees, making them hard to see. You can use other examples too, but those are the ones that I used. In a horse of a different color, I learned that when zebras run, their stripes make them look blurry, so it's hard to see them. And in giraffes, I learned that their spots blend in with the trees, making them hard to see. All right, guys. If you need more time with that, what you're going to do is pause the video on YouTube. Make sure you guys rewatch this on YouTube, since I know I am going a little bit quickly, but we have only about 20 minutes left in class, and I want to give you guys time for that comprehension test. Okay. So the last part, we are going to need to highlight again. So click on your drawing tool. If you're watching this on YouTube, just pause where you need to. We're going to be using our drawing tool to highlight what our task is for this informational writing, okay? You will now look at your passages or sources. You will take notes. Then you will plan, draft, revise, and edit your article. First, read your assignment and the information about how your informational article will be scored, then begin your work. Your assignment. Your class has been learning about how animals play a part in the world around us. Your assignment is to write an informational article that uses information about what you have learned about giraffes and zebras. Using information from the two sources, a horse of a different color and giraffes, you're going to write an informational article telling how zebras and giraffes are alike and how they are different. Please highlight that. That is what you guys are going to be doing. You are going to be writing how zebras and giraffes are alike and different. Your article must be several paragraphs long. I say at least 2. I recommend 3. I would say do 1 paragraph about about what makes zebras different, 1 paragraph about what makes giraffes different, and then 1 paragraph about how they're the same. Make sure to have a main idea. Support your main idea with details from both sources. Remember to use your own words. Be sure to state your ideas clearly. A well-written or informational article has a clear main idea. You need to keep it well organized, and it needs to stay on topic. And what is the topic? That how they are alike and different. You need to have an introduction and you need to have a conclusion. So you need to tell me at the beginning of your paragraphs what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you about zebras. I'm going to be telling you about giraffes. I'm going to be telling you about how zebras and giraffes are alike. You need to use transition words like first, next, then, and last. Make sure you're highlighting as I'm highlighting. Use details from the sources to support your main idea. So you need to use details from the sources. And then you also need to cite your evidence, which means you need to tell us which title you're getting it from. You need to develop ideas fully. You need to use clear language, and you need to follow the rules of writing, which means your spelling is correct, your punctuation is correct, and your grammar is correct. You should not be getting words spelled wrong, because you are allowed to use this article, these 2 stories, to help you with your writing. You should not be spelling giraffes wrong, because giraffes is right here. If you don't know how to spell the word camouflage, then don't use the word camouflage. Use the word blend instead. Use whatever words are in the story. Now begin your work on your informational article. Manage your time carefully so that you can plan, write, revise, and edit your article. Write your response on a separate sheet of paper. I recommend you guys doing it on a separate sheet of paper, and then after you've done it and you've edited it, then typing it in ConnectEd. Okay, your test will not be up until tomorrow. So those are some of my recommendations for you guys, okay? All right, so I recommend you guys rewatching this YouTube video before your test tomorrow. Right now, we are all going to ConnectEd, and you are now going to take your comprehension test. After you take your comprehension test, you're free to go. However, by the end of the day today, I would like you guys to rewatch this YouTube video and make sure you get everything that you missed. And then I also would like you guys to take your grammar Kahoot quiz again. All right, so go ahead and let's all go to ConnectEd. I want all of you guys to take your comprehension test right now. I know you guys didn't get to finish your informational writing. We'll work on that after. So how do you get to ConnectEd? You go back to Google Classroom, click on the waffle. Everybody needs to go to Connect Ed now. Scroll all the way down till you get to McGraw-Hill Education. Scroll all the way down. Wrong one. Scroll all the way down. You got to scroll all the way down. Nope, you keep clicking on Google Sheets. You need to scroll down to McGraw-Hill Education. Scroll all the way down. Keep going. Okay, it looks like why don't you have it? Click on the A. You're in your .org account. Click on the waffle again. Okay, scroll slowly down. Keep going. Okay, click on more from Google's Workspace Marketplace. I don't know why it's not showing up for you. Click on more. And I'll scroll down and see if we can find it in here. Okay, let's just search for it. So in that search bar right here, type in McGraw, which is going to be MC. Or, oh, it looks like other people were able to find it. Okay, go ahead. And if you're in already, you can take your comprehension test. Go ahead and take your comprehension test if you're in. So click on the waffle. Kayla, click on the waffle. We're all taking our comprehension test. Maylee, click on your comprehension test. Very good. Alexander, you need to go to your comprehension test now. So click on the waffle. Scroll all the way down to McGraw-Hill Education. Why is it that you guys don't have it anymore? All right, I'm gonna try and figure this out, guys.
Miss Park.
Yeah, I just found it, guys. It's right here. So you just have to keep scrolling down. You had to keep scrolling down, but there it is, McGraw-Hill Education. Nope, not national. But yes, perfect. All right, so we did find it. So Alexander, you need to keep scrolling. Actually, I don't know how she found it, but scroll up a little bit, Alex. Scroll up a little more. Okay, now scroll down, and then this time scroll all the way to the bottom. Just keep scrolling down, down, down. Somehow Alina was able for it to pop up. I wonder how Alina got it. Okay, well, click on Wonders Grade 2, Alina. Alex, are you in the right account? Click on your profile picture. Are you in your .org account? Click on the fish, Alina. Okay, keep scrolling down and look for the McGraw-Hill. Maybe try exiting out. Exit out of Google Classroom, Alex, and then try getting back in. And then click on Park. All right, guys, go ahead and take your tests.